So I'm getting really low oil pressure at idle. And then when I'm driving, we're sometimes getting up in the, I don't know, 30 to 60 range, and it usually is way more than that. So we need to take a look at this. It's cooling fine. Air pressures are good. It's charging. Let's shut it down and pop the hood. Let's pull the oil dipstick, see if we're low. Something's wet right there. I don't know if we're low or what, but that looks really thin. Smells kind of like maybe there's some fuel in it. Well, we definitely have an oil leak. Not quite sure where it's coming from, but it's all over the bottom of the transmission. The back of the motor here is all, here's where it's dripping out of. Dripping out of right there. Just slinging everywhere, really. I wonder if the rear main seal is leaking. I don't know, it's got oil way up there even. Maybe we ought to pull the doghouse off. See, is this oil? Yeah. I think we're gonna pull the doghouse off in the cab, see if we can figure out what's going on here. There's a puddle of fuel right there. Wonder where that's coming from. So yeah, this whole area is wet. I think it's all fuel. Not that that's a good thing, because it's not. I don't know what this cap is here. That cap right there, does that have anything to do with fueling system? Because it was loose. I wonder if maybe fuel's leaking out of that. Unless one of these injector lines is loose. Man, this engine is just so crammed in here. I can't figure out where that fuel leak is coming from. It might be coming from this furthest back injector. Either maybe the injector cup is worn out or something, but that's the only wet area I can find. And then there was a puddle underneath the whole valley between the two valve covers. And I don't know if it's leaking down in there and just puddling, because I felt the bottom of the injector pump and I didn't feel any fluid anywhere. So my guess is it's probably this back injector. That fuel leak, I'm gonna leave it for now. Right now, what's more concerning to me is how thin this oil is. So if you look at this, the full mark is right there. We're way up here, and it's really, really, really thin. I can't quite tell if it smells like there's diesel in it, but that thin oil, it doesn't smell like coolant. It leads me to believe either one, there's fuel in it. Well, that's about all I can really think. So what I think we're gonna do right now, we're gonna open up the drain pan. We're gonna drain some of the oil out. I have some oil with me, and we're gonna try and put some better oil in it, and maybe the thickness of the new oil will bring the oil pressure up enough to be able to get us through this load. I wanna move the wheel loader today, and then we can take this truck back home and get some work done on it. But for now, we're gonna jump underneath the truck and drain off some of the oil. All right, let's get this drain plug loose. guess we'll find out if this helps. So I kind of think that that's our oil cooler, I'm betting. I'm kind of thinking either the leak is coming from right there where that side of the oil cooler, or potentially from the rear main seal on the back of the engine, which would be a bigger deal because you have to pretty much take off the transmission. Just more work. Can't quite tell. It does look like there's oil kind of slung a little higher up there, so maybe the leak starts higher. And then I see some oil up there. And it's not like it's been doing it long, because this is not caked for decades. So whatever's happening is a new issue, which is fine. We'll deal with it. For now, let's get some new oil in it and see if that helps the oil pressure situation. All right, I just finished refilling it with oil. Let's check and make sure we're where we need to be. We are right at full. The consistency is definitely much thicker. You got any ideas on what would cause the oil to thin out and where that leak would come from? It has to be either coolant or fuel that's mixing with it. I can't think of anything else. Unless there's some sort of a hydraulic leak. I don't know if the hydraulic oil from the PTO and all that over there has any connection to the engine at all. This machine has, or this truck has a ton of hydraulics on the back with the crane, the boom, the winch in the bed. I don't think it has anything to do with the engine. I literally think that the engine runs a PTO shaft, and that shaft controls or pumps a separate pump, totally separate from the engine. So in my opinion, it's got to be either fuel or coolant that is getting into the engine somehow. And based on the consistency, it feels like fuel. So if you know this is an International 9-liter engine, V8, that, I don't know, they made them from about 1980 to 87 or so. Not a real popular engine, but it's what came in this truck, and it's what I've got. So we'll use it. All right, here is the oil that we took out. So we probably got, I don't know, 4 gallons maybe that we replaced. We'll start the truck up and see if our oil pressure is higher than 15 to 30 where it was. Yeah, it's coming up. We're at about 60. Give it some gas, it goes up to 80. That's a lot healthier. Now it's idling at maybe 70. That's better. We're gonna run that. All right, I am much happier with that number, because last thing in the world we want to be is stuck with a big heavy wheel loader on the side of the road because there's no oil or something. So for now, I think we're gonna call this situation good enough. It is not great, but it is what it is. Oil's where it should be. Still don't know on fuel. We have plenty of fuel. The engine's running well, so the only thing that fuel leak could be causing is a lack of power a little bit. This truck is already underpowered, so I mean, whatever. That would be a good thing if we could get that back. So let's close this bad boy up and get ready to load that wheel loader on the truck. All right, let's start up this old dog and get it moved. All right, I'm gonna have to start it up and turn this a little bit. Beautiful. Got good oil pressure. We're staying cool. That old dog is going to be a workhorse. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? We got the old dog here safely. It was about the same trip with Big Bad John as it was with this one. Nice and easy, no issues. About, I don't know, 45 to 50 miles an hour the whole way. That first big long climb that I had to take probably did 15 miles an hour. It did great. Truck never ran out of power. So yeah, totally stoked about that. Happy that we didn't have any issues. And the old dog is here and ready to work. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe, hit that thumbs up for me. It really helps the channel. Also, comment below. I'd really like to know your thoughts on these old dogs. The more and more I save of them, the more useful they become. But what do you like about them? What is it with you? Why do you watch this? I mean, is it nostalgic, something that you had growing up, or you used to do it for a job, or what? I'd love to know your thoughts. As always, thank you for watching. Without you, this would not be possible. I truly love doing this, and so without your support, it would not be possible. You guys have a great evening.